What's up and welcome guys, my name's Luke Martin with ChopstickTravel.com and today we are in Taipei City. So we are going to be making another food tour for you in this beautiful city, but today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Actually, Sabrina and I, as promised, will be answering some of the questions that you guys have for us. So I know there's a lot of things you've been wondering, so we're going to be doing a lot of eating and definitely answering all those questions you have, so make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be a good episode. So let's go. Okay guys, we are here at our breakfast spot today and we have come to one of our favorite spots to eat breakfast in all of Taipei. This is a little food street in Datong district, one of the older areas of Taipei, and we have ordered up some really good looking food, so we're going to sample it before we answer some of your questions. The first dish we have ordered today for breakfast is a congee. So you can see this is full of this interesting looking rice, and then there's some big pieces of pork in there, some scallions, some little baby dried shrimp, and it's a pork bone broth. And then over here we have a red yeast deep fried pork served with some of the red yeast sauce and then some sliced radish, and that looks awesome, super crispy looking. Okay, let's start with this rice porridge, and I'm just gonna try some of the rice with the broth. And this is a very popular breakfast food here in Taiwan. Oh yeah, it's very light, and you can definitely taste those dried shrimp in there. They have a nice seafoody flavor. It's a little bit salty too. Let's try to get a piece of the pork. Actually, that's really kind of soothing, not too overpowering for breakfast. Let's try that. Okay, that pork is nice and tender, and I'd have to say the dominant flavor is definitely those dried shrimp, giving it a nice little seafoody flavor. So let's try some of this deep fried pork next. So this is deep fried in a batter of red yeast, and you can see it's got this nice red color on the exterior, and it's sort of layered meat and then fat and meat. So let's dip it in some of the yeast sauce. Oh man, that's gonna be good. Check that out. Okay, let's try that out. Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's extremely crispy on the outside. You can definitely taste the layers of fat in there, but it's extremely tender too. It's not chewy whatsoever. That's really nice. A little bit greasy for breakfast, but it goes well with the congee. So we're just sitting here enjoying our breakfast in this nice little courtyard in front of this temple, and its food is really delicious and it's beautiful here. But we have your questions and we are going to be answering them. So the first question comes from Sharon Chin, and she asks, "Hey Luke, are there any food that you are afraid of eating because of how exotic or unusual it is? If there aren't any, what are the most unusual food you've tried?" So we've eaten some interesting things before. There are some foods that I do not want to try, one of which was in Korea actually. So in Korea they like to eat a silkworm pupae. So these kind of little baby worms, I guess. It's not that I don't want to try them because of the way that they look, but it's the way that they smell. They smell absolutely terrible, and pretty much anywhere in Korea you can be walking down the street and you'll just smell this from a ways away, and it just, I can't get over it. So I haven't been able to try that.
I think one of the foods that it's not so exotic, but I really stay away from is frog. I don't know what it is about it. It also has kind of a strange smell, and I can't stand to even try it.
Yeah. So the next question comes from Kate, and she asks, "What have you found most difficult about constantly traveling?" Traveling is very logistically difficult. You always need to be planning 2 steps ahead. So that's something we've had to learn to deal with. But other than that, traveling is difficult because you have to live out of a bag. So we live out of a book bag and a suitcase. We have all of our camera gear, and it's just hard to kind of dig out your clothes all the time, especially if you're used to having a dresser or a place where all your things are kept in one specific spot. So we're kind of always changing, always moving, and things are getting packed differently. Next question is from Anna Carolina. "What made you decide to do food videos and why base it in Taiwan?" We have always been food lovers, and that's really why we connected in the first place. And we found that traveling for food it gives meaning, it gives purpose to traveling. Sure, we love to go see all the tourist spots and the beautiful sightseeing things, but really to feel like you're part of the local culture, it really helps to try to immerse yourself in the food, and obviously street food is one of the best ways of doing that. And why base it in Taiwan? So that's also a very good question. Taiwan, I have found, is just a food paradise. It's really, the culture around food here is one of a kind. So just to see thousands of people going to night markets every single night, packing the places out only to eat food, it just shows that this is a culture, a country that loves to eat food. So obviously too, there's a ton of diversity of food here, especially street food. It makes it very good for filming here. So we just love it. The weather is amazing here. We just absolutely love our time here in Taiwan.
People are super friendly, and another thing is when we were coming here the first time, we noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of research on a lot of foods here, so we thought maybe we could fill that void, and that's been our goal, and we've been really trying to do that.
Next question comes from NavUSX, and they ask, what is Luke's #1 street food he has eaten to date, and what's Sabrina's worst food she had tried? So, okay, one recently that we tried that just blew my mind was this Daqiaotou patty that we had, this pork patty in Korea, in Gangneung. And it was just absolutely incredible. They mixed the meat with apple, and it just gave it this incredible dimension of flavors, fruity and savory. So that was definitely up there with one of my favorites. For another, I'd have to say in Malaysia, we ate a dish called nasi karabu, and it is this blue rice and then mixed with all kinds of amazing Malaysian ingredients, lots of coconut, and then we ate it with this amazing barbecued chicken. So that dish is certainly one to remember.
And I'd say probably one of the worst foods that I've tried to date. We weren't filming or anything like that, but we had boiled pig's vagina, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It was tasteless, it had a really strange texture. Overall, just not a very good meal.
No.
Yeah, so that was probably my least favorite one.
All right, that was a really awesome breakfast, and this is a super cool spot here in Taipei, in Datong district, a really local spot. If you guys want to check it out, we'll leave the directions to come here in the description box. We're gonna keep going, get some more food, and answer some more of your questions, so let's go. So we have our next snack today, and this is potentially one of the most famous things in all of Taiwan, and that is the ever so famous Taiwanese bubble milk tea. So this is popular pretty much everywhere in the world, but this is a Taiwanese invention, and let me just kind of explain to you what we have here. So it is a black tea that has been mixed with milk, and then on the bottom here are the bubbles. They are made out of tapioca, so it gives it this really interesting texture, as the Taiwanese call it QQ, which basically just means chewy, and it is just extremely popular here and one of my favorite drinks, and we have gotten it from one of my favorite spots to get bubble milk tea here in Taiwan, Usilan, or we just call it 50, and that is a really popular tea shop. There's all kinds of tea shops here in Taiwan, but this one's my favorite for bubble milk tea. All right, let's try this out. And this is a cold drink. There's ice in here and only a little bit of sugar. You can tell them how much you want ice and sugar. Let's try it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's always so good. So we have kind of taken shelter underneath this canopy because it started raining pretty bad here in Taipei, and we were just enjoying our bubble milk tea. This is one of Sabrina's favorite drinks in all of Taiwan. Okay, so time for some more questions, and the first one comes from Wes Davies, and he asks, what did you both study in university? Is that where you met, and what made you want to go to Taiwan initially? So we both did meet in university, and we both studied the same thing in university, and that was marine biology. So we both went to university in Canada, in our home province, which is New Brunswick. It's a very small province on the east coast of Canada, and there is a lot of marine ecology there, so that's why I decided to do marine biology. So thank you, Wes, for those questions, and thanks for always being an awesome subscriber, commenting on all of our videos. So the next question is from Roro Yunda, and they ask, hi Luke, when will you come to Indonesia? So that is a question we get asked all the time, and that actually can lead us into the next thing we wanted to talk about. So we will be coming to Indonesia very soon in 2018. We're not exactly sure when, but first up, our next travel plan is to go to China. So we will be going to mainland China here in about a month in March, and we will be spending about a month and a half going all around the country. So there's a few spots we want to go for sure, and that is Shanghai and Xi'an, Guangzhou, and maybe a couple other places. But if you guys have any suggestions for any of those spots I just mentioned, make sure to let us know down below. Also for Indonesia, please give us any recommendations you have. We're in the works right now planning our trip to Indonesia. It'll be a few more months before we make it there, but we are super excited and the food there just looks incredible. So make sure you let us know where we have to go and what dishes we have to try.
Okay, so our next question comes from Ad Nitrat, and I hope I'm saying that correct. And they say, will you guys do more European street food programs in the future? Going to Europe the last time, we wanted to film a lot of street food videos. The street food culture is a little different there. It's a little harder to film. It's a little harder to see how the food is made. So we do hope to go back in the future. We are planning to visit more of the Eastern European countries this time around.
So high on our list of European countries is definitely Turkey. So we're hoping to get to Istanbul or maybe some other places in Turkey very soon and making some awesome quality content for you guys there. Okay, so the rain has stopped and that was a really awesome cup of bubble milk tea, and we're gonna keep heading on today. We have a couple more questions we want to answer for you guys, and we're going to go to our next spot for a little snack. So let's go. Okay, so our last snack today is another very popular dessert here in Taiwan, and this is mango shaved ice. And just check out the size of this bowl. It is absolutely huge. So we have the shaved ice underneath here, and then big chunks of fresh mango on top. And then on top here, it looks like a scoop of actual ice cream. Maybe it's mango flavored ice cream, we'll find out. And then everything's just been smothered in condensed milk. All right, let's get a big chunk of mango, some condensed milk, and then a ton of that shaved ice, and try it out. That's gonna be a cold bite. Oh man. Oh, it's surprisingly creamy, even though it's not ice cream, it's just shaved ice. But because of that condensed milk, it makes it extremely creamy, and that mango is really, really soft. It's also quite sweet. It's really, it's light. It's a lot lighter than ice cream, and it's a healthier option, certainly, than ice cream, and still very delicious, especially on a summer's day. But pretty much any time, this is enjoyable. Oh yeah. So the first question comes from Carolyn Kowitsky, and they ask, why did you have to leave India, and do you ever get food poisoning? So that's a question that we have been asked a lot. So as some of you may know, we were in India. We made only one video while we were there, and I decided to answer this question because they go very well together, the two parts of the question, because I did in fact get extremely sick in India from food poisoning. So I was pretty much bedridden for 3 days, couldn't really drink water, and it was extremely hot while we were in India too, in Kolkata. So we do hope that we can return someday, but at that point I was just so sick that we needed to leave, and you know, it was unfortunate. We did enjoy the food, especially in India, but our time in India, but we had to leave this time. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to come back again in the future. So I'm actually going to upload a video to my second channel further explaining this and actually show you the food that I believe was the food that I ate that made us sick. So you'll see that on our second channel, Luke Martin Raw. Make sure to go down to the description box and you can see the link. So subscribe while you're over there because we're going to be putting out a lot of good content.
So our next question comes from Laura McNeil, and she asks, what are your next 5 countries on your bucket list? So that's a really good question. We have so many on our list, but I think our next top 5 are China, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, and Mongolia. So we do hope that we can travel to these very soon, hopefully within 2018, but if not, 2019 and hopefully sooner than that. So those are our next 5 countries, but of course we have so many more.
So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of casual Q&A with some really delicious Taiwanese food. And just to let you know, we are going to be making a ton more videos, regular style, for the next month or so here in Taiwan. We can't wait, and we have a lot to come in 2018. So I hope we answered most of your questions. If you have any more questions, leave them down below and I'll try to reply to you in the comments, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. The links are right below here. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.